coaches, welcome back to the 92 Mesh Group channel. This is Coach Coltharp and the rest of the boys coming to you from North Carolina and somewhere up in the mountains where it's probably a lot colder than it is here. And then, of course, down at the beach down there with Coach Dular. Just thought we'd get on tonight and talk a little bit about some air raid football and what we got going on next weekend. We're really excited. And let's go ahead and we'll start with Coach Dular, who unfortunately is going to be able to join us this week. We were a little scared about that last week. They had a tough one last night or Friday night in the state semifinals down in South Carolina. So, Coach, you're coming up to Air Raid Intensive on Saturday, and what are you planning on speaking at in your two sessions?
Offensive line play. Probably talk a little bit about pass pro, counter, a little bit of option, and then in the second one, mesh and shallow.
Okay, and then what about you, Coach Knapp? I know I threw a ham bone on you this morning, and I told you that I might need you to speak twice instead of once. What do you kind of have in mind for the weekend?
The first one is going to be quick game and how those pair together, and probably some receiver technique. And then for the second one, I got a lot of questions about scripting on parts of the field and stuff, so I'll cover some of that for you.
All right, cool. So we got a little quick game action, a little scripting, and then Coach Salas, what about you?
I'm doing RPOs and tournament program.
Yeah, and that's the big one. I'm really excited about hearing that. You and I talked about that a little bit the other night with the RPO deal and then talking about program. I had a chance. I don't know. I haven't even told you this yet, Coach Salas, but I had a chance to talk to Coach Randy Jackson the other day on Twitter, the guy that wrote the TPW book.
Yeah,
and I'm really excited about maybe getting him to come on the channel and do some things with us. And so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to probably talk about screen game. That's what I always get to talk about. We're doing some other little things there. And right now, guys, there's about 22 or 23 tickets left of the 40. We're calling this Air Raid Intensive because it's just one full day of air raid questions. So if you're in the chat right now and you wanna ask us some questions about some things, we'll hang out with you guys for a little while. The biggest thing, we know it's early in the clinic season, but so many people have been asking, and we figured, hey, come sit down with us for a little bit, see if this is something you're interested in, and then you can ask your wife for Christmas presents, and the other thing that we are going to do is we're going to be filming each session. And each coach will be putting their sessions up to get for you to be able to get to them. And then also, if you attend the clinic, you're gonna get a free copy of all the sessions anyway. And then, Coach Salas, you had a special deal that you were gonna do for your guys as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get during my session, I'm just gonna show some good plays on RPOs, but I'm gonna get all the year on both of the RPOs we run, so you can see all the bad ones too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're having a little bit. Can y'all hear him all right, or is he kind of a little garbly on y'all?
Oh no, sounds like hit slow play on the old-fashioned tape recorder.
All right. Well, I just shut the latency down a little bit, so hopefully it'll go a little bit better. Say that one more time about the RPOs, Coach.
Everyone who comes to my session, are you hearing me better now? That looks like from your face it says no. All right.
It sounded like we need to change the name of this podcast to the Barstool Podcast because you were slurring a little bit, but
little slurring.
Little slurring.
For my session, I'm going to give all my all the RPOs we run this year.
He's doing it on purpose now. He's funny.
Mid-facial.
That's hilarious.
Let me finish drinking this vodka.
I want to go to his session.
Yeah, no doubt. I bet his session is going to be great. But yeah, like I said, I mean, we're going to try to have a good time, and that's one of the things I like about hanging out with you boys is that when we do get together and start talking ball, it's one of those things where you never know what kind of conversation is going to come up or what kind of what could happen, and all of you guys are pretty funny in the beginning anyway. But so we have like I said, we have 7 sessions. It's going to be a full day. Registration will start at 8:00, and if as soon as everybody gets in place, we'll get started, and then we'll break for lunch. I'm working on some. There's a bunch of local restaurants right there by where we're going to be, and I'm trying to get us a couple of deals where they'll give some guys some discounts if they want to come over and eat and do some different things like that. And that's one of the reasons why we chose that hotel, because it's kind of right in the middle of everything. It's right around the block from Hooters, and there's a place called Mac's Speed Shop that's got some really, really good food there. There's a little Mexican place right down the street. Coach Salas is always down for some chips and salsa. But if you got high blood pressure, you can't hang out with him because he likes to put salt on the chips before anybody eats them. It's very rude, to be honest, but that's just how he is.
That's a pro move right there.
And then say what?
That's how the veterans do it.
That's exactly right.
Keep you from cramping, right? A little extra salt on your food or whatever. But like I said, we're just trying to get as much work as we can in. The lady at the hotel said we could have the room until 5 if we want to go over a little bit and do some stuff. So yeah, Chris, the funniest thing is when I go back and look on this video, Napier, you're gonna be frozen. Like your whole face is gonna be frozen. This might have to be a podcast only version. This is something that my Mac is screaming right now with all these big heads in the screen, and that's pretty rough. A little bit about what did you guys get a chance to watch any football this weekend? Anything that struck you as odd? Or I know a lot of people are talking about Leach, not running the football or whatever, and a lot of people were really upset about that, and just didn't know. But did you guys catch any games, or how did that go this weekend?
I didn't catch much. I did happen to see some of the publicity, the media around some of his players and former players were kind of sniping at each other through Twitter and all that. And I mean, you know what you're getting with Mike. I mean, you didn't bring him to Pullman to run the football, so that shouldn't have been a surprise.
What, did he pull off the dream game?
Yeah, well, you know what it was. I mean, he averaged. He averaged a couple yards on a couple runs, and then he just did what he did, and then all of a sudden, they're not scoring points for whatever reason, and it's a rivalry game, so all of a sudden he doesn't know what he's doing.
We've all been there.
My favorite thing of the whole weekend is when he went in on that reporter, though. I thought that was hilarious. He told him he was a sanctimonious troll. I don't even think I can spell that. But big win for Carolina last night against NC State too. I'm working really hard to try to get Coach Longo to get down here for this clinic. I spoke with Stacy Searles last night a little bit by text message. He was one of my college coaches, and he's the O-line coach up there. So we're really trying to get Coach Longo down for Air Raid Nation in May. But they had a big night against NC State last night, and they're going to be bowl eligible in Coach Brown's first year, so that'll be pretty cool. And but like I said, Shane, you got any more top secret play action passes? I need to do another video too. So if you're gonna get a chance, last time we did a little podcast, Coach Dulard was talking about how they play action 95 by running H on the shallow, and I thought that was really cool. So we called it a top secret play since he didn't share that with me when he was teaching me stuff. So I had to steal it from him, and so I did a video on that. And then Coach Salas did his data video this morning. Was it this morning they went up or yesterday morning, Coach? I can't remember.
Yesterday.
I don't think you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Well, you get closer. Maybe that's what the problem is. Yeah, it went up yesterday. It was exactly like last year.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know what's going on with Coach Salas, but
he always does his stats on Saturday. We had the huddle assist, so we knew exactly what was going on, and then numbers came out exactly like the year before when we didn't know any of that stuff. So apparently we thought the outside guys can run it with the running back and the quarterback a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I was impressed. I'm almost tempted to just kick you out of the group right now because Salas was 60% run this year.
It was
He
actually
was
a little higher than
60%
that.
run this year. How about that?
Don't buy Shane. They run the ball constantly. But don't tell him.
Hey, the funny thing about all this is that like Coach Salas is not a drinker. He really isn't.
Was it just a delay on it? What's the problem?
Yes,
You're going
there is, but only on yours.
Yeah, you're going in and out. Your picture's frozen, and your audio's it's fine for a second. Then all of a sudden, you hit the slow play on it.
Hey, but you got a great shot on your head. It's really good. Hey, here's a question. One of the guys just put it in the chat, talking about how we felt about all the recent firings that went on today. I didn't really follow it too much. I saw where they got rid of the boy from Missouri, and I think didn't Charlie Strong get it today too?
Yeah, and Southern Cal.
Oh, did they get Clay Helton? Oh wow, how much money you think they're going to throw at Urban Meyer for that one?
As much as he wants. I mean, if he wants that job, he can have it. He can write the check and go ahead and fill it out himself.
Yeah, no doubt.
Did they beat UCLA yesterday, or did they lose to them?
I think they won.
You gotta stop screwing with me, man. They beat him, and then he got fired.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure about it. I'm pretty sure they beat UCLA, and
they're going to the championship. That means they're going to the championship. They won their side of UCLA, and he still got fired.
Yeah, they did. Also, guy just the guy from Ole Miss got it today too as well. And I'll tell you what though, getting fired by Ole Miss ain't a bad thing. You know, you get fired by Ole Miss and you'll end up you'll end up coaching LSU.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get too worked up over those guys now. They all walk out. They're millionaires. Dang high school coach, he gets fired and he's got to stay there for the next 4 months.
Yeah. No, that's.
And our severance pay is not nearly as good as the college.
Yeah, but they think that's it works. It's the same way.
Yeah, no, that's I can remember sitting in a booster club meeting one time, and we had new booster parents and they were soccer parents, and the booster club president says, "All right, coach, we're gonna give every program $500." And I just looked at him and started laughing, and he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, if you give the soccer team $500, they're gonna think they're rich. You give me $500, I'm gonna buy 1 helmet, 1 football, and 3 chin straps." They just don't get it, and then we started talking about, I was like, "Hey, look, can I just get a little money so that when we go to the clinic this summer to get our certification, I can take the staff out to dinner or whatever?" "Oh, well, you guys are making all this money," and I was like, "How much do you really think they make?" And then so he threw out this number, and it was something god awful. Like he thought like assistants in North Carolina were making like $500 or $600, $5 or $6K. I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "I'm the head coach and I don't even make that." He's like, "Huh?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, this ain't Texas."
Not South Carolina.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, now Shane, you and Joe work down in Georgia though. I mean, since we're talking about it, the assistant pay down there is pretty good though, right? Or is it just the head guys that are doing well, or is it kind of like up here? It just depends on where you work.
Yeah, I think anywhere you coach at is kind of different places. I think in Georgia in general the pay is probably a little bit better, but even where I'm at now the assistants make pretty good. This compares to a good Georgia job.
Yeah, South Carolina does a lot better than we do as well. Because I talked to a couple guys in Florida. For some reason, I think I have a beach body now, so I want to go down near some water. And, he's like, Coach, we don't make no money down here. And I was like, well, how much do y'all make? And he told me, and I was like, yeah, that's about what we make up here. Except but y'all have Disneyland or Disney World. And he's like, well, yeah, that makes it more expensive though. And I was like, oh, okay, I got you. But yeah, so Coach Salas, you did data driven in your video. When's your next video going up, or have you decided what you're going to do, or what's going on with that?
I'm still waiting on someone to show me how to do the voiceover. Coach Mackey sent the program yesterday, so hopefully I'll be able to. Time I talk, you can't start laughing, brother. That's you. You're the brains of this outfit. Fixed.
That's why if I'm the brains, we're all in trouble. Shane, I wanted you to know that that I was told by a certain person who outranks all of us most of the time that I was supposed to say on the live stream that you got disconnected before he did. That he was on the call before you were initially. So I was supposed to say that.
That's why he's screwing up my audio.
Yeah, he said.
Getting it back. I'm telling me who's boss right now.
He said it's your fault. Well, I think what it is I probably have way too much stuff open on my computer, to be honest. So let's shut down some of this stuff and see if we can't make it work. I've been working like crazy, you guys, on trying to get stuff switched over for Air Raid Nation, and then also for the Total Air Raid system. We're moving exclusively over to CoachTube. Really excited about that. Hey, listen, if you guys will get a bunch of likes on the video, give me some comments if you would like to see some courses from Coach Salas and Coach Dular and Coach Napier on CoachTube. I'm trying to get these guys to do some online courses and stuff for people to be able to take and have and do some stuff outside of the YouTube thing. Because, I mean, the YouTube thing was good, but the thing that we all do on YouTube is you want to keep that pretty short, because most of you guys only watch the videos for about 4 or 5 minutes anyway. But, I'm trying to get these guys to do some courses and kind of put them together so people can look at them and do some things. So if that's something that you'd like to see, man, let us know down in the comments below that you'd like to see, Coach Salas and Coach Dular and Coach Knapp do some videos, and we'll get them up on CoachTube and do some things like that. Because like I said, we'll be releasing the Total Air Raid System 2.0. This version is called The Process, Philosophy, Install, Practice, and Game Day Strategies of the Air Raid offense. So it's pretty much going to be kind of like 1.0, except we're going to have some more cut-ups and a couple of little things. It's not going to be quite as long, to be honest, but 1.0 had a lot of board work and things, and 2.0 is really going to focus on the idea of less is more. I'm going to go more in depth into some things. I think in 1.0, I just really wanted to share so much of the stuff. And I will tell you, and I'm sure Coach Salas don't. Coach Salas, you remember what you told me when you left me was going to be my big problem? I was going to have 2 things that were going to be my big issues when you left me, when you went to West Bladen. You remember what you told me?
Doing too much was one.
Yeah, he said I was going to have a hard time hiring assistants because it was a small school. And then the other one was I'm gonna have a temptation to do too much, and I had to fight that. And I think that's kind of what I did with 1.0. So 2.0 is going to be a little bit more condensed, have some more cut-ups, a little bit better technology and stuff like that. So really appreciate you guys. The other thing that we did is we donated. If you didn't see my video this morning, we donated $325 today to the Movember charity. So you guys did a really good job with the sale this month. We lowered the price way down, and then we donated $5 for every sale to the Movember charity. So we were able to raise over $300 for men's health from 92 Mesh Groups. We're really excited about that. Still looking for a charity to do this month. I want to try to do a charity or a giveaway every month. So if there's something near and dear to your heart that you'd like for us to look into, hit me up on Twitter or hit one of the guys up. We all have 92 Mesh Group emails, even the guy who hasn't activated his yet, Coach Salas. But yeah, it's Coach Dular at 92meshgroup.com or Coach Napier at 92meshgroup.com or Coach Coltharp, and then there's also Coach Salas at 92meshgroup.com. But if it gets sent back to you, it's because Coach Salas hasn't activated his stuff because he doesn't want to get into the shared drive and all the other good stuff like that. But yeah, so we were able to do that. Our course will go live. It's going to drop on the 10th. If you've already joined the Total Air Raid system now, you will be grandfathered in. If not, you can go to our website, 92meshgroup.com, click on it, and there's a pre-order over on the CoachTube site where you can get in, and you'll have access to what's up there now. And then when it's updated, you'll be able to get that as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was Appalachian State. That's right, we're in the top 20. Just wanted to tell everybody that. My boys are doing that good work, and hopefully this weekend they'll win the Sun Belt again. And so also, if you haven't had a chance to pick up on the podcast, we do have a podcast now, and I didn't even tell you guys this yet, but it's up on iTunes now. We got approved to be on iTunes, so we'll try to get on iTunes. We'll try to do a podcast once a week or so. We'll get everything worked out. Here's another question. Let's see. If you got a chance to watch Washington State play, how mad were you when the wide receivers weren't sitting down in mesh while the defense was in zone? It happens. Now, wasn't it – didn't Drew say that Leach just tells him to run straight through now? Did I hear that right, or am I crazy?
I hadn't heard that. That would be a big surprise to me. But I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. I talked to so many people about stuff right now, but I think because him and Pat went up there, and both of those guys had said that that he was doing some things. Obviously I worked with one of the semi-pro teams around here this fall, just kind of putting some stuff in for him, and I toyed around with the Leach mesh. I kind of like that, the 2 outs on the outside. Have y'all done any of that? With the 2 10-yard outs and then the inside mesh?
Yeah, that's what I did this year.
Did you do some of that, Shane? Yeah. Did you give
if they're playing soft coverage or man coverage, then we're running the out routes.
Yeah. Now, did you give the quarterback the opportunity to pick which side he wanted to work?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mirrored route now, so he always picks the best guy.
Yeah. Joe, did y'all do any of that, or did you just run the ball?
Yeah, no, we did it in we used it in no huddle in our pantries. It was one of those that looked really, really good in practice.
Just so y'all know that next year Coach Salas is going to be under center, and it's going to look like a split back veer team, and he's gonna call mesh Novocaine, and they're going to do the Remember the Titans thing. 60%, Coach, really?
It was unfortunately it was a little higher than that. I think it was 63.
Oh, so
I'm embarrassed about it.
You skewed the number so the boys wouldn't get on to you?
I rounded it down so I didn't get kicked off. You know why? Is we were in that situation where we're a single A school, we got less than 500 kids. And we were Alabama, we were going to Super Bowl this year. So in order to do that, we had to play some kids on defense. Our defense struggled. So when the nights that we could run the ball, we ran it because we had to protect those guys.
All right, well, Coach,
on the nights that we couldn't run.
All right, well, Coach Salas, Coach Leonard is asking, is your decision to run the ball always a box count decision on early downs or short yardage?
No, strictly box count. In reality, it was more like the weak guys do. If it worked, we were going to run it. If it was going to get yard, we were going to throw it. So we got a lot of 6 in the box. Early on in the season, we got some 5 in the box. And on those nights, we had pretty good tailback. We had an excellent quarterback. And when we were able to run it, we ran it. And it was because of that defense, which we get that whole defense back this year, so they'll be, we'll be pretty good on defense. But they were young guys this year, and we had to protect them when we could.
Right, and Shane, what about you? Are you a box count guy too? Is that how you do it? I mean, that's pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we typically get a box count. That's kind of a 50-50 deal most of the time. When I'm running the true stuff, like Joe said earlier, heck, this year I bet we were probably 85% run. I mean, it's crazy. That's what I work with right now, and he does an awesome job. But predominantly run team.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy that you work for probably runs counter trey as good as anybody does at the high school level, to be honest.
There is no doubt about that. But we run a lot of other stuff too. We actually didn't run counter near as much this year as we have in the past. But it's still our number one run.
Yeah. What about you, Nap? Y'all did a bunch of different things though this year, didn't you?
Yeah, but when I'm able to call it, I'm the box count guy. I'm stick at 5 in the box. I'm gonna run. The main thing is I just try to find the bubble. Where's the one technique at and attack it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was one of the things that I learned when I went to the college level is that those guys weren't calling the strength, based on receivers. They were actually calling the strength away from your back, and that's why a lot of those college guys are going to pistol now because, they were setting a 3 technique, opposite your back or whatever, and making you come downhill, and then of course now with all these quarterbacks running the way they are, that's kind of a big deal. Anything new you're thinking about putting in this year, Coach Salas, or taking out? What after your data? What's kind of your preliminary thoughts on making some of those decisions?
Second year in a row, I wasn't happy with the RPO, the Lightning Thunder RPO, and I don't know if Shane's got some cut-ups. I know Shane did the same RPO but ran on counter. And that's what I'm thinking about next year is either run it behind just regular counter with the ends coming off the edge too hard and off of the switch ball just to protect counter and to make those linebackers trigger. When the guys that get the cut-ups, I'll give those cut-ups to everyone at the clinic. And when we were struggling, it's because linebackers would halfway it. They would start downhill and then hesitate, and they could get back into play. So I just, in order to make them, we run the counter so much that I think it's by far our number one run. I think it was like 320. We ran counter 320 times more than we ran any other play. So
I saw your numbers and I was like, whoa. Yeah. And
so that's the goal is to run that same RPO, but run off of the counter stuff, off of the little scoop thing that he does, and it didn't make them trigger downhill enough for me. So that's the big innovation for next year is to do it off the counter. Shane, are you guys still doing that?
I think we ran exactly one time this year.
Yeah. How about on JV? Did he call more on JV? I think coming forward, you guys were doing off the counter on JV.
Zero times. I think we ran it 0 times on JV this year.
So that's a half. If you put those together, JV, you ran a half a time for each.
I'm telling you guys. Hey, look, this is what it's like when you get in the room with these guys. It is absolutely hilarious, and it's even better when the computers are acting funny and Coach Salas is slurring like crazy. It's like talking football with Otis from Andy Griffith. Oh boy, but yeah, I think that's something that we as coaches, don't do enough of. And I think maybe some of the younger guys are doing that a better job. And it's good to see Coach Salas modeling that behavior, is looking at your actual data and having something to back up those decisions. And a lot of times we just say, well, I like this play, so we're going to run it. And then the other thing I liked about his video is he talked about how he invested so much time in the sprint out game in the spring and how that was going to be a big deal for him. And then, it didn't matriculate that way. And did you practice it much during the week, Coach, or it just was something that you just weren't used to calling?
We practiced it with the, when we hit the 90s, which was every Tuesday, we practiced it on Ralph's on air. And, really good practice, but it just never, I think, if you combine varsity and JV, we ran it twice. So we were playing on one the other. But it's just, I can't tell you why. I know we had planned, we hit Tarboro there in the second round. We thought that was going to be a big play for us. And then when our quarterback went down in the first series, it just that and as a matter of fact, and that the mesh, the Leach mesh was going to be a big play for us because they were a cover 3 team.
Right.
We thought we could really eat them up with that outcut, and our kids were good at it. There were 3 plays that we were super good at and never ran in the game, and that was the spread out. We looked great at it. The mesh, we called it Coog 92 Coog, what we called it. We were fantastic at it. And then our 3-4, the quick game slant corner. We were deadly in practice that thing, and we just never, when we got down in the red zone, we just ran it in. We ended up not throwing the ball a whole lot down in the red zone just because we were running the ball so well,
right.
Especially down there.
Yeah,
So,
and that's definitely something that I look at and I talk about in my videos a lot is this whole idea of CBA or cost benefit analysis and just I think even as I look at as I've been working on the second version of this total air raid clinic system, the 2.0 is like you feel like you have to do so much and talk about so much, but then you realize, are you really being true to the process? And the conversation you and I had the other day, Joe, really had me thinking about that word process and how important that is. And I really think if you're going to be an air raid coach, you have to understand that the process is everything. It's not the playbook. It's not the RPO. It's not the mesh. It's not the shallow. I mean, I can remember talking with Coach Mummy one time and asking him, about the play calls and stuff like that. And I said, if you could only run one thing, which one would it be? He's like, I would run mesh. But then he turns around and he says, well, Leach, if he had the choice between mesh and shallow, he would run shallow. And I think, to me, I don't know, here, Shane, this is probably your question. It's kind of like algebra and geometry. There's algebra people and then there's geometry people. I mean, really, is there a magic, is there a magic pin? And AJ Smith was in with us the other week, and he talked about you don't really need to run curl anymore because it's on the back of 94. So how much of that is happening? I know some people are putting sail with 95. Do you do that at all? Or are you putting that 10-yard out there or what?
No, I didn't. But it's funny you should talk about curl on the backside. I almost said this the other day. When me and Joe were at Dooley County, we used to get that on the backside of 95. We put the curl instead of the dig, and we could just call 95 strong, and they could throw it. They would actually throw the curl flat read to the backside instead of throwing the front side read to it. And so that was, we did something very similar to that. And heck, that was 25 years ago. We did that. But no, I've never done the 10-yard out. I think Joe did, if I remember him saying that right. But I kept it a 5-yard out or the shallow.
Joe, wasn't that something you had gotten from Longo?
I got it from Mackey.
Oh, okay.
But I like it. But we'll still call 95 and go strong on it. So we still do the same deal. It's just my big limit is am I gonna string the playbook even farther? We're literally. I don't know about you guys. We have 4 90s, 4 quicks, 4 runs, and 4 screens. And so I got to decide, are we going to do 3 each instead of 4?
So you're going to do 3-day install instead of 4? Is that what you said?
I gotta decide that if I'm going to go to a 3-day or do I sit there and say, well, even though we did 3 and 4 0 times in a real game, we're going to keep that in because we're going to need it, and it doesn't cost us that much. It doesn't cost us a lot once you get stuff installed. I don't know about you guys, but we do our routes on air. One day is quick game, one day is night game. It's the time is there to do it. So is it really costing you that much to keep it in the playbook and practice it?
Yeah, I kind of like and I got this when I went to Lane because we didn't do this a whole lot, but they just do that Tony Franklin thing. They just call rodeo lasso and they'll roll to anything. So I like to roll to 94. So we ran 98 when we were at Red Springs. It was a big play for us. Of course we had a dog with some feet, but I just don't know. It's just kind of like the whole flood. If you don't,
that's a philosophy thing.
Yeah. How much rolling did y'all do with the big kids y'all had this year, Shane?
Quite a bit. I mean, we move the launch point, fairly often, as much as we throw the ball. A lot of times just to help protection, sometimes just to change the look. And he was a good runner too. He was 6'5", 225, but he could actually run. So we liked getting him out on the edge. We did some creative things with him on the outside too, but we did it. We did it a little bit.
Yeah, Chris, what about you? What about rolling and stuff? Do you roll a bunch or no?
I'm not a big roll guy because sometimes I think it messes with your timing with your quarterback. But if I had a dude that can run, you believe I'd roll him out.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that's changing, and I don't know, Joe, you being the elder statesman, maybe you should comment on this first. But how much has guys like Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson and these guys going to the NFL who could run, and we obviously, when I was coming up, we had Randall Cunningham and then I think Moses played quarterback when Joe was coming up, but the Fran Tarkentons, and I mean there was always one or two guys, but now with these guys like the Lamar Jacksons and things like that, are people going to be what the attitude towards running the quarterback is that just something that they do now, or I mean, do you have to run that kid? I mean, because these guys are showing that it's just an added weapon, but How much is that going to change the air raid moving forward with these big time athletes being quarterbacks now?
Well, we 20 years ago we had Courtney Walker and Cecil Westbrook. We had athletes back there at quarterback. If we would have known how to run the ball with the quarterback the way we do now, we'd coach it instead of rats up. For me, it was learning how to integrate.
Right, and I think that's my thing. I think we've all had that kid who can go. I mean, he probably ran better than he can throw. But how do we integrate that in the offense and still stay within the core of the offense of little things make big things? Getting to the magic rep without trying to do too much, I guess, is my biggest question.
Well, I tell you, I know from my perspective, I think that makes our offense even more important in today's football, because we do minimize the amount of stuff we want that quarterback to have to learn and memorize. We have a small playlist, and we can integrate our quarterback into our base run game. Every single base run we do, we can also do with the quarterback, so it's not any more learning for our up front guys. It's just a backfield action that's easy to teach.
Right.
And now that quarterback, he can work that stuff, but he's also got a workable passing game. I mean, I think it's vital to today's game.
Yeah, I mean, and I was actually doing some dart cut-ups the other day, Shane, and I was looking at some of the dart and the dart switch stuff that we ran, and like you said, that's the best thing about it. Even if you're a counter guy or anything else, it's still just one scheme, and I guess that is a big thing. Chris, how about you? I mean, how do you think these running quarterbacks and big time athletes are going to be integrated into the offense? I mean, obviously guys like Jalen Hurts, he's just killing it down at Oklahoma, because when he does take off, I mean, are we going to see more man coverages or more zone coverages? What do you think?
I think you're going to see more man because of the RPOs everybody's putting stuff, especially with the screens. They have to line up. But if you really think about it, guys, it goes back to Coach Mummy's original philosophy. You want to get people the ball that can score. So if your quarterback can score, I mean, I think even he would agree you're crazy if you don't let him run the ball some. Not getting that guy in the end zone. We can scheme up anything we want, but if he's a ball player, he's going to find the end zone.
And I guess that's another question, Coach Salas. How has the RPO changed? The fact that now these people are playing man, and it's made it more effective for quarterbacks to run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Shane. I think it all fits together and puts us up, on the cutting edge of what's happening with offense right now. I mean, if you think about it, I wouldn't want to have to play us if I was a defense coordinator, I wouldn't want to have to play us.
Yeah, it's not
too much-
fun. I did it 2 years ago. It wasn't fun. We went to play Northern Durham in the first round, and John Hammett was doing a lot of air raid stuff, and we were trying to get to him, and the referees didn't know what holding was, and what do? You don't complain about it. You just get after it, and we're fire blitzing and playing man and doing all kind of stuff, and he's just playing with pace, and it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm glad to be back on the light side, so to speak. Now, and that's something maybe we need to talk about.
You have the ability to go tempo, and if you have a philosophy of going on fourth down, and then you got Shannon down there with the budget they have, where they're having a full session between series, a big screen TV down there on the sideline. I mean, to me, it would be a nightmare to play, a true air raid team that has an athlete at quarterback. I mean, Oklahoma's probably more like me than he was like Shane. Our defense wasn't a whole lot, but we had the ability to stay in games just because we had the ability to score, and it changed the game plan of the other team. Where they'd come in, they'd look fairly dynamic sometimes on film, and then they get there Friday night and immediately want to slow everything down and shrink the clock, and they were worried about keeping us off the field instead of about running their offense.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And guys, that's one of the things that when you get to sit around and talk ball with a bunch of guys, you get some ideas about certain things, and that's one of the things that we're really excited about to be able to do this off season. We have our first air raid intensive this weekend. We're going to do it here in Fayetteville. It'll be from 9 till about 4:30 at the Homewood Suites here in by Hilton over off of McPherson Church Road over by the mall. If you want to stay at the hotel, they have a special rate for the ARI. Just tell them you're coming for the clinic, and they'll give you a discount on that. There's several places to stay right in this general area. It's Restaurant Row, basically. Like I said, a bunch of places to eat right around it, and we're going to stay as long as you want us to stay. If you come to the clinic, you're going to get a free T-shirt. If you come to the clinic, we're going to have a couple of drawings. The first 10 guys who registered, we're going to do that drawing there. And if you're already a member of the Total Air Raid system, we'll refund your registration fee. But if you're not a member of the Total Air Raid system, we'll give you a free system for coming to the clinic. And then obviously, like I said, if you do come, you'll have free access to all the video courses that are going to come out of the clinic. So it's gonna be a great day of ball. It's going to be an intensive day. It's going to be a long day for us, but we're really excited about it. And like I was saying in one of the videos, we'll carry it down the street, and if we got to go sit at the bar, there's a Hooters right across the road. We'll eat some chicken wings and talk some football or do whatever we want to do. But really excited about you guys. Before we started the stream tonight, we had about 25 tickets left. I'm pretty sure it's going to sell out. $30 is easy on a clinic. $30 with a T-shirt and everything else. And hopefully, if this thing goes well, we'll look forward to maybe doing one in February down towards Shane's Way, down towards the beach in February or March, and then might think about doing one in West Virginia, Coach. I don't know about that. You have to wait till the sun comes up there or something like that. I don't know about that deal. I'm playing. My uncle used to live up there. It's not a bad spot, but move that around as much as we can and do some different things. And then obviously in May, we're gonna have the big clinic, and I'm telling you right now, don't tell anybody, but the tickets are gonna go on sale December the 10th. As soon as the Air Raid 2 drops, we're going to start that out, and I'm really working hard to get some guys coming in. And, like I said, we do have Coach Mummy locked in. We have, all the guys on the video are locked in. Pat Taylor from Open Grass Reads is in North Surrey High School is locked in. Coach Ron Mackey from, CoachRonMackeyFootball.com fame is locked in. Drew Piscopo is probably going to be down, so all the internet guys are going to be around, and we'll have the formal clinic, but then there'll be places where y'all can go sit. They got a big lobby with some tables, and I'll be honest, the best clinic I ever had was at a Super 8 in Davidson, North Carolina. Coach, you remember that's when we met Coach Mummy that night, that day, and I sat at one of them round donut tables and talked to him for about 45 minutes, and it changed my life. So, like I said, guys, I appreciate you coming in. man. You know, obviously we had a few technical issues. Something's wrong with Coach Salas. I don't know what it is, but he did get on the call before Coach Dular. So, you know, that,
Audio right now.
say what?
Can you understand me right now?
Yes.
All right, tell them to bring a flash drive, and I'll give out. And for the RPO, I'll give out my cut-ups.
All right, yeah. Coach
I know
Salas
the problem-
says bring a flash drive. Yeah, if you have a flash drive, if you bring a flash drive or something like that, and if not, if you bring a flash drive, we'll get it up there and we'll put it in the shared drive or something like that for you guys to be able to get to. But we'll give you some stuff like that, and like I said, we'll have some giveaways and some different types of things, and just really excited to talk ball, and hopefully everybody can make it. And you know, as always, spin it to win.